Okay folks, I prepared this, you know, whatever they're called, the other day. I had that bit of black paint that was left, so I painted the edges. And then what I've done, I've used the Tim Holtz stencil on there, the gesso first, then the Tim Holtz stencil with some texture paste, and I used a bit of crackle glaze or paste from Tim Holtz. And I also used a bit of that, oh, what do you call it? Not matte medium. It's a real thick texture paste. Can't remember the name of it, folks. Sorry. Grit paste. Okay. That was just in little areas as well. Okay. And I'm just going to spray it. I'm just going to see what happens. I have no idea where this is going, but I wanted to put some texture on that, and I'll do it over a couple of days. You know, I'm thinking of a key or something and some fabric. That's all I've got so far. I think I'm going to start a vintage photo. I don't think there's any in here. So I don't mind if there's a bit left in here. I might as well just get rid of it. I think this one is watered down, so okay. And I'm going to spray it a bit so it starts to get in those cracks there. I'll get a brush in a minute and just swish it around. Because this is literally the sort of first layer. Okay, I like that. What I'm going to do is just dry that off a bit. I'm trying to get it so there's no hard lines, but that's only the first layer, so I'm not really worried. I think that's all in those cracks. Let's put some at the top as well. It's cool. And you got to remember it dries a lot lighter, so. Right, before I go, I want a bit of salvage patina. I'm using the distress stain there. So I'm going to put that up some of those places, like so, and a bit over there. Okay, and I might mix it with a bit of Enchanted Mariner. See what happens. A little bit of water, not too much, because I quite like that. Okay, and I'm going to blow it around a bit. I'm actually going to leave those bits of white there. I really like it. I don't need half of this at all, really. All right, I haven't got vintage photo oxide spray. I don't think. I've only got the ink pad, if you know what I mean. So I might try a little bit of like gathered twigs or something. I think pumice stone, I'll go like that. Oh, gathered twigs in the oxides, here we go. This is called Pony. It's Misty Huey. And that's a nice colour as well. I think it's better than the gathered twigs there for what I'm doing, that's all. Because I didn't have the right one. Just sort of spritzing that a little bit. Okay, this might look a bit dark when you do this, but don't worry, it needs to be like that, or else it can look a bit wishy-washy. So that's salvage patina. Okay, just like that brown bit in there. Leave that. I usually do things like this. I'll gesso it and prepare it one day, and then I'll go back in and put the colour on. Then I will leave it, and then we'll come back the next day. Okay. I like that. A lot of texture going on. Like I said, no thought what's going on top at all. So I used Vintage Photo Distress Stain. I used a bit of Salvage Patina Distress Stain. It's distress. I used a bit of this one. But like I said, I've had that a long time, but it's a very rich colour because I haven't got walnut in any of these. And it's sort of like a walnut colour. I used a little bit of gathered twigs. Yeah. In, I think, both of those. And I used a bit of Uncharted Mariner. So I quite like that. It just adds a little bit of depth, and I love, well, Salvage Patina, of course, is my favourite colour. So, but adding that, I don't know, it just adds a little bit more depth to it. That's cool. Right. And you'll see the next bit soon. Okay, and while the canvas is drying, I'll prepare the little bits, because I'm going to use that from chapter 3. I'm going to use a key that I'd already done previously, just wrapped a number around that, look, from an old bit of paper. Okay, already rusted those with alcohol inks. All right, made them look a bit rusty. Butterfly, you might have seen in my other book that I done ages ago with the Tim Holtz thing. I'm going to make this quite shiny. Then I've got a little bit of that. That's just a bit of lace, bit of rusted fabric with some threads over the top. Just this stuff here. Yeah, and I've just stitched that with zigzag stitch. Okay, down there. So I'm going to use that as well. So I'm going to paint this one with gesso. I'm not sure what colour this one is going to be, but I think this is going to be sort of one that sticks out, sort of, you know, like that. But I'm not sure. don't do it too long, else the plastic will melt. Okay. So anything that wants gesso in, I would do now. These are Premium Marketing one, and then the other one I have is Rusty Patina Viva. Okay, this is nearly empty actually. And then I'm just gonna dirty that up a bit first. This is the one that's hard, all the other two are not too bad. Okay. So I'll just go around like that. Build up a few layers. See, I use this one a lot. I think it's gone now. Yeah, it has. Okay, no point. I'm not gonna worry about that one. That's about it. Okay, I wonder whether to do that with that. I'm not sure. Right, try. Just get rid of it off my hands. Okay, that's all right. And I'll leave that to dry. Okay, just put a little bit of green paint here. I just picked up the first one, okay, and it's quite bright, yeah, which is fine because you can put that in, sort of dot it around. That's what I do. I tend to do it with my fingers, even though I have a brush. And then what I do is I get some of the brown. Okay. And see, that's quite bright at the moment. Don't really see it, but it is. Okay, and what I do is just sort of scratch it away a bit, and just leaves a bit behind, which I'll show you a close-up in a minute. If it's too much, I'll put a bit of brown over the top. Okay. I might actually put a little bit of yellow there, just get a bit out. I just don't want that to go too dark, even though rust is sort of dark. I'll use the bit that's out. Sort of rub it in a bit. Tiny little bit too much there. So I'll get the brown again and go over it, but leave a bit of the yellow behind. So I don't know if you can see that. Right. So there's a little bit bright. Yeah, get the brown, but I'll leave a bit behind. There we go. Okay. And I would put, once that's dry, I would put a couple of coats of, say, varnish on that. You want to, you don't have to, but it can look quite nice. So I think there's enough green on it. Yep, I'm happy with the green, so I'll take that away today. It's only old paint, that one. I can't tell you the colour of that one because that's the tube. Yeah. So that's that bit. Don't need any rust on anything else as far as I know at the moment. So I will put those away. Right, so that's all nice and dry. I have put a coat of distress glaze on it. Okay, now I thought, I was going to do some of that encaustic wax, which I've had for ages. This one. Okay. So I haven't got my melting pot because Jaden has it at the moment. So what I've done, I've just put a bit in here and I'll melt it with my heat gun. And then I'll brush it on and heat it. But you'll see me do that. Okay. I just want to, because everything's going to go here, I did have it around that way and I didn't like that blob and I love this side. So I just turned it around. Alright, so that's going to be partly covered. This is going to be exposed. And I thought I would stamp here. But I should have really done that before I put the wax on. But so again, I might ruin this now. And if I do, I do. This stamp is from the mushroom set. That's Tim Holtz. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of text in there, hopefully. Yes. So yeah, that's not good. That is. So I squished too hard there. Never mind. So that's all right. Yep, didn't need to squish so hard. My fault. See, that was perfect. So look, just nice and gentle. And I doubt if that would come up. Let's have a look. Might be able to because it's got wax underneath. So let's have a look. Oh, I think we're lucky, folks, because we put the wax on. So there we go. That's a good little pointer, isn't it? So you can see what I had done there. It did go wrong. It's a little bit. I'm going to go over that again in a minute, but gently, because that all worked nice. So I'll just dry that off. All right. So definitely less pressure. So I shall put a bit in there. That's perfect. That's fine. I don't think you see anything really down there much, so, but that's great. Just wanted a bit of something else there. I'm happy with that. So let's have a play with the wax now. Yep, that's great. Okay, no idea if this is going to work. Hopefully it does. And then I've got a brush, a nice soft brush. There we go. Put the wax on. Okay, it doesn't matter if it dries onto here. I'll melt some more in a minute. Yeah, just put some on. It's like candle wax, so not ideal, but. And then I usually put it on pellets. Let's get some of that out. Right, so I've just sprinkled a bit more as well. Okay, that's how I normally do it. So I just thought I would try and heat it up in that pot, but it wasn't very successful. So another thing learned today. let's see if that's enough heat. Right, if you find your, it's gone a little bit cloudy, that means you have too much wax on. So you just heat it up a bit. I've got a few little areas where I could do with a bit less wax. Some of it is really working well, that's fine. But you just heat it up and you scrape off, okay? And you'll find it, then it starts to go very transparent. Right, okay, that's loads better. Okay, and what you can finish with is a tiny bit of vegetable oil, which I will do in a minute, but I want to get on and do these things here. But yeah, that's great. So I just put too much on. Oh, it's been 15 years since I've touched encaustic wax, really. I used to use the iron and do all the, like the trees and different things, landscape. I've got a few pictures somewhere. I still got the design. I've still got it here, actually, all my encaustic stuff, but I used to enjoy it. Anyway, but I've never finished like anything like this and used it over the top. So yes, I overused it. You need very little. I scraped quite a bit off, so, but I got there now, and then it goes, when you get to the right place, you can't see, there's no cloudiness. All right, and then you can rub a little bit of vegetable oil over it to bring it up. I haven't got vegetable oil, but I've got this one that I use on my cutting boards when I've done a few presents for people, so I've used this. This is like a food grade one, but I'd use that because I got it here and I haven't got any vegetable oil, but vegetable oil is fine. Okay, which I will do that in a minute. I'm going to go back. It's looking great, actually. I'm going to go back to this. This doesn't really fit that, but when I put it on, it's okay. That's a Tim Holtz stamp, so I wanted to use that. And the butterfly, as you know, I've already done, and I've got another couple of things here. They've been inked up. That's okay. I might put something in the top here. Okay, just dangle something from there. But I want to get on with this now. I'm sort of debating here. I like that, but I want it shiny, and I think I'm going to do it with this embossing distress glaze. This one, the Tim Holtz one, and I'm hoping that it doesn't go too blue. What I might do is put the blue on and then put a clear one on the top, but because I do want to keep a bit of that colour. Right, let's get the Versamark. And this one's double layered, so I'm going to give it a good ink cut, really. And you'll be able to see if you miss a bit anyway, so that's no problem. Because these are slightly transparent when they go on, so I'm hoping I can still see the underneath. So I think I'm only going to do one layer of that. That's well covered, so. Okay, I did end up putting another coat of the selvage patina on. Okay, I lost what was underneath with that bit of white in. So what I'm gonna do here, what I want to do is do a bit with the uncharted mariner. And so what I'm gonna do, I've got a Versamark pen, and I'm going to sort of do this. Yeah, And I do want to sprinkle a little bit around as well, but I'm going to put this in these just for a little bit of depth. Not there. So I'll warm that first, and as it's warming up, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit other bits over. Okay, right. Yeah, like that. So I'm going to do, just going to put a bit in here. It might be still a bit warm. I want that to be darker in that bit there. I think that's pretty cool now. There's some lovely things going on in there. There we go. Can't see any of the black specks or anything now, but I really like that. So soak in. I'm not worrying about the sides till after. I just repaint those because I don't normally do that till after. It's just I had a bit of paint left over, so I used it. Okay, all right, let's get started. So let's find out where we want that. Because I'm going to have to stick that down first. I think that's going to be about there. Okay. See, do you know what? I'm going to come over even more. So, yeah, and then I have one of these. Well, I want that there, but I do. Quite like it. Artistic license. Gosh, I can't remember the last time I've done one of these. God, like something like 2016. Okay. Okay, right, I am going to put it with hot glue. Okay, and I'm going to put quite a bit down there. Okay, and then I'm going to lay that in. Okay, like that. Should be all right. Metal to metal is not very good, but paper to that is okay. I'm not sure, that looks a bit wonky. Let me have a look. Oh, maybe a little tiny bit, but not much. Okay, I think we're all right. Just very minimal if there is. Okay, I don't think I need anything else. I did have this butterfly here, but I think I've got sort of enough. No, that's going to be lost. You know what? I'm going to leave it because I love all what's happening everywhere. So, and we can see the background that we created. There we go. And all I got to do now is to paint around the sides with black, which I can do, no problem at all. And we are done. Yeah, that's well on now.